our business breakfast series. I'm Joyce Kennedy. I'm the Director of Community Relations here at Concordia College. And on behalf of the college, I'd like to welcome you all today. We will be hearing from Gil Alba, who is the president of Alba Investigations and who also had a 28-year career with the New York Police Department. So without further ado, Bill Salva, who is the Dean of our Adult Education Programs and our Business Programs, will introduce Gil Alba.
First of all, I want to welcome you here, and I'm really excited because today we have the opportunity to hear from Gil, but what's really important about Gil's career is Gil is a graduate of our adult ed program here at Concordia College. It's a program that's been set up almost 25 years ago for non-traditional students to return to college and earn their college degree. And Gil took advantage of that, came here, and got his degree in behavioral science. And as we all know, I'm so happy that when you're a police officer in New York City, it's always good to understand human behavior. So we think we played a major part in his development as both as a police officer, investigator, and certainly as a graduate of our great institution. Gil, as Joyce mentioned, has over 28 years in the New York City Police Department. Gil's first assignment as a police officer was in the South Bronx on the 41st Precinct, which is known as Fort Apache. And if you saw the movie and probably saw some of the documents on that, I'm sure Gil could give us a whole 4-day expo on just his experience at Fort Apache. He also rose to the rank of the highest investigative position, first grade detective. He was a major part, he played a major part in the major case squad and the FBI NYPD violent crime task force. He worked on headlining grabbing cases such as the famous 1993 kidnapping involving the Tuxedo King Harvey Weinstein. You may have seen Gil on CNN, NBC, BBC, Fox News, 48 Hours, 2020, or America's Most Wanted. Not as a Most Wanted, right, Gil?
Both of them. Good and dry side.
Yeah, so talking about both the investigation and disasters such as mass shootings and acts of terrorism. So please, without further ado, welcome Gil.
Touching this glass, drank out of it. My DNA's on there, my fingerprints are on there. That's just my fingerprints, so they can find out who I am. If I left my coat out there, if you bring a dog out there to sniff it, they can come in and sniff it, and they can find out that I was here. So this is unique to each of us. However, in each of us, no matter what age, no matter how young or how old, each of us has a certain ability inside of all of us, and we have to bring it out. And if I go around the room, you're going to see that, and ask you, you're going to have it. But we have to bring that out. And I'd have to say that it's unique to all of us, whether it's cleaning the floor, whether it's inventing something, it's unique to all of us, and you have to bring it out. I don't care if you play basketball or baseball, whatever you got to do, it's going to come out. And that's how you're going to come out. I'd have to say that when I came here and I graduated from Concordia College, that helped me out, and that brought out more of my ability. My ability to do stuff, to give me more confidence to do what I do, okay? I sat there and listened like everybody else. Now I write articles, people put it in magazines. I'm on not only national TV, I'm international news. Concordia College student, international news. I go to 58 countries. Concordia College helped me do that. And I give all the credit to them. So thank you for being here. So it's a pleasure graduating from here and then coming back and talking to you. And I'm talking basically a lot of students here. Same thing. So get that out of you. All of us are here for that reason, because you want to get that out of you. You want to get that, and that's why you're here. You want to learn more and you want to do it. So really what I'm going to talk about is human emotions more than anything else, extreme human emotions. And working with these cases, again, taking behavioral science and working with these cases, it helped tremendously. Getting away with murder. Yeah, getting away with murder. Missing without a trace. So once I retired, I was saying, what am I going to do? I was in the gym, and there was a 22-year-old kid missing from Brewster, New York. So they asked me, could you get involved? They had a lot of people involved. They asked me, could I get involved? So I went over there, I sat down, and there was other officers there, and I just sat down and learned what was going on. He went down Times Square, 1998, went down Times Square, took the train down with his friends, and he disappeared from Times Square. So what happened to him? Nobody knows. So what happened is I went there and I sat down and I listened. I was in a major case squad. I was in the FBI Violent Crime Task Force. I did all these cases. So those cases, or high profile or whatever case, they weren't hard for me to do. So I already knew what happened to this kid before it even happened. I didn't even know where he was. And this is just when I got there. And how do I know all this? That's how much knowledge I got out of that. So what happened with this kid? Larry Andrews was his name. We found him 51 days later in the water. Okay, he had his wallet in his back pocket, and he drowned. So what happened to him? Was there a serial killer? Was there something that happened to him? We don't know. Okay, I do know what happened to him, but at this point, I'm just going to say, it's hard to tell the families what happened to him. But anyway, 51 days. So he was missing New Year's Eve. I did a study on kids from 18 to 22 missing on New Year's Eve. There was about 17 in New York, and a lot of them were found in the water. Then I did across the country, and then I found out what the water temperature was when a body goes down there, how long it comes up. So all this study I did with these kids as far as missing persons. So what happened is, that wasn't my primary thing, because missing persons, you help families. And really, it's really helping families. That's what I do. Behavioral science is helping families. The cases are like secondary. Let's help the families. So this is how I got involved with that. So when I did that case, I was on every TV show. Even though I was in the police department, when you're in the police department, you can't talk. They don't want you to talk to the press. So the press is like they're bad. The press is bad to police departments. For some reason, I don't know. Once I'm here, private investigator, it's a whole lot different. The press comes to me and they ask me listen, I need your help. Cable TV, they have to come to me and ask me, is it okay to do this? So it's really what they can do for you. It's really what you can do for them. They're looking for you to help them. So the press, to me, really helps, especially with these cases. So what do I do? So with that case, I got a couple other cases, but I was on, Geraldo Rivera, all the shows. First time I went to Geraldo Rivera, I'm sitting there, and all the cameras are on, and he's sitting right in front of me, and I'm sitting almost talking knee to knee. And we were talking about this one person. I couldn't pronounce his name. So I said, Geraldo, how do you say this guy's name? He goes, don't talk to the hand, So I'm there, not used to that, coming from the police department. I felt, it took me everything not to curse him out, So I just sat there. So he said, he's finished, puts his stuff down. He says, Gil, so where did you're a first grade detective. I'm going like this. You talking to me? He's talking to me. So he said, okay, I'm sorry, I got you. So anyway, from that, other families started coming to me and missing persons cases. So I'm going to go through these old cases that they're still high profile and they were still working on it. This is missing without a trace. Let's see so here's what the families, here's what they do. Unsolved cases, unsolved cold cases. Here's what I'm working with. No weapon, no evidence, no witnesses, no body, no DNA, no smoking gun. No smoking guns like Sherlock Holmes, if you walk in a room, there's a body there and the guy has a gun and it's smoking. That's how, that's how the case is. Okay, this guy did it. Other than that. So this is what, you got no body, no DNA, no smoking gun, no. So how do you figure out these cases? How do you work with these cases? And do the families know what happened to these people? Yeah, the families know. So here's some of the cases I worked on. 19-year-old Albany student disappeared in Albany, took the bus, 9:30, she got out of the bus, disappeared. Her credit card was used like 18 hours later with her PIN number, so trying to show that she was still alive at that time. They didn't see any foul play or anything else, so they believe that she knew who did this, okay? No evidence, no anything else. So that, with this, the family now, you have to understand with all these families, they get so involved in helping other people, and that's how they, I guess, relieve the pain or help out, so they do so much. So Albany, so they changed a lot of laws. They even got a Suzanne Lyle law. The family, her family, has changed, the governor made Missing Persons Day, I think in April. So every year she has Missing Persons Day in Albany, and I go up there and speak to families. They got like 200 families come up for missing people, so I go up there and speak. Christine Kupka, I did that case. I've still been doing it. No proof. I'll tell you a little more about that. Heather Teague, Kentucky, 23 years old. Tell you a little more about that one. Who's this? Anybody know that one? Natalie Holloway, Aruba, disappeared, 18 years old. She actually Scarsdale. Tina, 34, Bethany, 15, New Hampshire, right by Vermont, missing without a trace. Anne-Marie Chavetti, missing without a trace. Chandra Levy, her missing for a while, she was found. Chandra Levy, who did this? She was the intern going out with a congressman. Everybody swore he did it. Actually, I'm not gonna say it, but everybody swore he did it. He did it. So, Bill Sibuliski, a male, you rarely see a male. So I'll tell you a little bit more about these cases. You know what's funny about this though? And this is what I always fight, is everybody's white. Minorities have to fight a lot harder to get on the news and to keep it going. Okay, so that's a lot of work. So the parents, whoever, you really have to keep going, keep the cases going, even for a male, to keep it going. So everybody's white here, you know what I mean? So you can see the struggles of that. It's about human emotions, this thing.
Abandon her, nor would she me, so this is like what I have to do.
Kathy first turned to the police for help.
When I got to the police station, I totally was hysterical. Because they said there's nothing I can do. And in my desperation, I was like, I know that she's dead and someone has to help us. It's so horrible. Your sister's dead, you know it. You can't find her body. You don't know what to do. No one tells you what to do. Well, it was hell. I mean, it was horrible.
Call
Kathy
Superman.
says after repeated rebuffs by police, she hired a private investigator, retired Detective Gil Alba.
That's what I'm talking about.
Work on are with families that want to get involved and help, who wants to have control of their own investigations.
A 28-year veteran of the New York Police Department, Gil served with the FBI Task Force and the Major Case Squad, handling high-profile crimes, kidnappings, bank robberies, and police shootings.
One of the reasons I went into the police department.
Okay, that sounded good. I'll leave it like that. Let me see how I get out of there now. So anyway, I've been on this case for this long, 1998. Do I know everything about this? Yes, I know how she died, who killed her, how they killed her, how they killed her, where, except I don't know where her body is. Okay, and this is a dentist. He was a teacher at Baruch College in Manhattan. He went out with her. She got pregnant, 5 months pregnant. He got in a ritual wedding, big wedding, so he got married. He came to pick her up one day saying, listen, I'm leaving home. Can you help me clean the apartment? So she went with him, October 24th, 1998, disappeared, totally disappeared. I've been on this case. I interviewed maybe 200 something people. He picked her up, brought her to a garage. I don't even think she was alive. She was alive when brought to the garage, but I think he, did something with her. Now he's a big-time doctor in Florida. He's still working there. He's got kids and everything else. So he's living his life like nothing happened. Okay, so took her body, put it in the garage. So we tried to get into this garage for years. We couldn't get in. So we checked that. We found out who helped. So we know who helped. We know they chopped her up. And this is the sister we talked to. So the sister knows everything with this case. So she does everything with this case. And now there's no evidence. So far this guy's living his life just like the other ones, getting away with murder. That's why I'm saying getting away with murder. So they do that. This guy's 34 and 15. This guy was living with them, He's registered sex offender, okay? She thought he was fooling around with the daughter. Registered sex offender because his daughters, his own daughters, made a complaint against him. That day, she was asking, what's that letter about? And they found out that she opened the letter and found out that he was guilty of molesting his own children. They were young children. So at that time, they started fighting. That they disappeared on that day, 2001. Okay? I go up there. This is in New Hampshire. I do all kinds of searches. He lived by the river. I have divers up there. I have all kinds of search teams go up there. So I go up there a lot and search the area, search for her body and everything else. This guy still lives up there, and you know, everybody knows who he is and everything else, but there's no connection, so no ties. Getting away with murder. There's another guy so far getting away with murder. However, these still are really active cases. Whoops, back to that. Yeah. Chandra Levy, congressman. She was an intern for a congressman in Washington, D.C. What happened that day? She was going home. She looked on the internet about the park in Washington, D.C., and that's it. She disappeared from there. Police did all kinds of searches all over the place. It was a real high-profile case. Police did all kinds of searches. They took police academy, they took everybody, searched the whole park, searched everything they could. They couldn't find her. They even talked to this guy, and they let him go. They thought that the congressman had killed her. Finally, they went back, found this guy. This guy talked in jail that he killed her. The other guy told the police that he killed her, and that they arrested him. They arrested him, and they got him for like 60 years. However, there's a technicality with the case, so the case is still open. He still has to go to court on that, so hopefully they got him guilty. Okay. Another guy, Chorman. He's married, and he had his sister-in-law working for him. Sister-in-law disappears. So nobody bothers. They don't know what happened. They think she ran away or something. That's his wife's sister-in-law, so she disappears. So nothing happens. So now he's fooling around with here, Anne Marie Chiavetti. This is in Staten Island. Fooling around with her. She disappears. And now the police come and put those two cases together and know that this guy did it. What evidence do they have? Now, I went to Staten Island, did all the searches and everything else. This is an hour show. I have an hour show on MSNBC. They show it all the time, so everybody calls up with all kinds of information. This guy did it. He got lawyers and everything, so you can't talk to him or anything else. He's still there, working, went to jail for other things, but nothing like this. So he's still around, no evidence to tie anything in, getting away with murder. He still got away with murder, so far. Holloway, Natalie Holloway, Aruba. Everyone knows he did it. No connection between the two. Her body disappeared. They dug up the whole island just about of Aruba. They couldn't find her. This guy, she was 18 years old, just got there. He was 17 years old, just got there. Everybody knows he did it. He goes all over the world. He doesn't care about this, neither does anybody else. He meets this girl. She goes, they're in a hotel. She goes on a computer, looks up his name, find out who he is, kills her. Right then and walks out of the room, and they got him running out of the room. However, her father's a big deal, big tennis star, and big in government. They stopped every car, every cab, and everything else, and they caught him. They put him in jail. Put him in one of the worst jails. He has now met somebody down there, got him pregnant, probably has a baby by now, got married. So he's doing fine. Did they ever put these two together? No. Did they ever prove that? No. They're still looking for a body, and so there's still all stuff going on with that one. The male. He's 33 and she's 48. They were going out. He's kind of obsessed with her. They're in Florida. She's making phone calls. He checks the phone, and she's talking to some kind of mayor someplace. He hears it. He looks at the thing. He calls the mayor up. He said, man, you better watch your back. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, he disappears, never to be seen again. So the mother, who's distraught, because of her son, was putting out flyers all over the place. And she sees her taking all the flyers down. So she complains. She takes a picture of her taking down the flyers. She sues, and she actually wins. against the mother for taking down flyers. So that's been going to court, but I think they just overturned that. This mother has done a lot for missing persons and everything else. I've been going up there testifying for the legislature against, not only homeless, missing people, cases such like this. So changing the laws on these cases. So it's really, what I'm talking about is really not so much the case, it's really helping the families, being involved with the families. This was the other one I didn't show you. She was 23 years old. I showed her a picture of this in Kentucky. She was by the river. She's laying down on a beach chair, face down. There's a guy on the other side. He has a telescope. He's looking, because they have races down there. He's looking, and he sees a guy come up to her, put his arms around her hair, put a gun to her, take her in the woods, and she disappeared. That's in Kentucky. So I've been going down there and trying to help with this case. Once I go down to these places, by the way, and help these families, they go to the newspapers. So they say, big time New York City detective going down there. So when I go to these places, they're all waiting for me. There's like 3 channels there, so everybody knows me. So wherever I go, like I have an entourage wherever I go, so like big deal. However, when I go to talk to the police department, if I go to talk to the police, I'm like saying I'm the greatest guy in the world. I'm sure the police department don't take that too lightly. So I have to go talk to the police and tell them, listen, I'm here for you. Whatever I find, I'm going to give to you. So it kind of eases the stuff and cooperate. Well, this guy they had by the beach, they had his car there. They went to get him. He shot himself in the head and killed himself. So it's still open, this case, because they can't prove there's no really connection there. But they're sure he did it, but he killed himself. But the mother is not sure that he did it. She thinks it could be somebody else. So that case is still active. This guy, February 2015, walked out of his building in Queens, 21st Street. It was like 1 degree outside. He had Alzheimer's and schizophrenic. So you see him walking out. He didn't have a jacket. It was almost below 0, and he had holes in his socks, and you see him making a right turn coming out of his building. So his daughter called me. I said, okay, listen, I'll tell you what, I'll come on a Thursday, and we'll go, Thursday at 10:30, and we'll go search for him. So I go at 10:30 that night, and I meet her in Queens by where he went missing. I already, since I've been doing these cases, I have a feeling of what could have happened to him. So I look around, somebody with Alzheimer's, how far can they go in 0-degree weather? When you get that cold, you kind of walk around, you sit down, you relax, and then you could pass away that way. Even the young people do that. That was right by the Triborough Bridge. So I go to the sister, and I said, listen, here's a couple of things that could have happened to him. He could have went in the water. She said, no, I don't want to hear that. She says, the only reason I'm telling you that is because could have went in the water, his body could go out to the ocean, and you'll never find him. So we have to be aware of that. So she said, okay, but I don't really want to hear that. So in April, this is how much I know the waters, the temperature, the currents. In April, I went up to her. I said, listen, I got to meet you. It was a Friday. She said, I'm working. I said, I'll meet you 15 minutes. So I met her on 31st Street at the coffee shop. I said, listen, here's the deal. I'm 99% sure your father went in the water. Not only that, I'm 99% sure he's going to come up today, tomorrow, or the next day, and he's going to either come up in Brooklyn around 60th Street or Red Hook in that. If we don't find him within these 2 days, his body's going to go out there and they're going to find him. So let's rent a boat, or let's tell the police department to go search for him. She says, well, I don't know about that. I don't know. So I go home. What do I hear on the news? That they found a body in Red Hook. So I call her up and tell her to call. They call her up, took his ID, and it was him. So that's how good I'm doing with these cases as far as doing it. Am I a psychic or anything? No. Missing or murdered. I wrote articles because Concordia helped me do that. Kathy Kupka, that was a sister I was telling you about. What did she write this last sentence? Investigator, he saved my life. So it's not like your sister. I didn't find a sister, but I saved her life. So that's what we do with these families. We help them. We help the families. So that's the difference between, but all the other guys, missing without a trace, missing and murdered. I just want to tell you this one story. How long do I have, by the way? Okay. I'll tell you one quick story. Maybe not a little longer. So I go on TV. Family calls me from Pennsylvania. They said, listen, we saw you on TV, we need your help really bad. Our 19-year-old son is missing from Penn State. I don't know what happened to him. So I'm saying, well, you got to go to the police and tell them. We went to the local police, they didn't do anything. Go to state troopers, they went to state troopers, they didn't do anything. So I'm saying, wait, let me get this. 19-year-old son took off, you don't know where he is. What do you want me to do? You want me to, if I find him, grab him, handcuff him, and bring him back, kidnap him? When you're 19 years old, that's what you do. That's a kidnapping. So you can't do that. So I said, listen, that's not my expertise. I don't really know how to do that, and I can't do it. So I can't help you. So, of course, they were distraught. They don't know who else to help them. They called me back a couple more days. Can you help me out with this? I said, no, he's 19 years old. What am I going to do? Where is he? I don't know, have any idea. You got the police, let them look for him. And they're not going to look for him because he's 19 years old. And what am I going to do if I find him? Kidnap him and bring him back? That's not going to work. So they hired a lawyer, female lawyer. The lawyer calls me up. She says, listen, I have no clue how to do this. I need your help. They are desperate. They asked me to call you because they need your help. So I said, okay, all right. Finally, I said, all right, I'll help you. So I go to their house in Pennsylvania. And she works as a custodian for a school. He works around the clock. The father works around the clock in a power plant. They said, listen, we need help with our son. I said, okay, I don't know. Let me just listen to the story, see where I can help you. We need help. So I said, okay. So they tell me the story that he disappeared. He had roommates disappeared, had a girlfriend disappeared. His car is gone. They've been looking on the side of the road. They think he's dead. They think either somebody murdered him or he committed suicide. They don't know where he is and what happened to him. So, you know, that's like that first thing, what kind of evidence do we have? So where am I even going to start with that? So she says, but we have a credit card that, you know, somebody's using. So hopefully that's his and he's using it. But he says, listen, we don't really have too much money to give you, you know. We don't have that much money. So, you know, when they say that, I'm kind of saying, okay, I don't mind helping you, but do you want me to pay my money and use that? You know, it's really not fair. So whatever you can do, I'll work with you, wherever it is. All these families, probably I spend more money than these families do. My time and money with these families. But when they say, you know, when they start off like that, you know, what do they do? It's almost like taking my son's money and give it to them for their son, you know, so it's really not fair. So anyway, I listened to them. He had a credit card. He has no phone. He took off. His car's gone. So I see the credit card, and it says, went to Montreal, Ottawa, back to Montreal, within like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I said, okay, I'll help you. So I get this card, and I follow, but the information doesn't come back right away. It takes like a week. So I see Montreal, Ottawa, and Montreal, back and forth within that time. So I said, I'd help you. They called me in a week, and they said, okay, did you find our son? Where is he? I said, I didn't even move yet. Where is he? I don't even know where he's gone. You know, he's got 3 different places. Where am I going to go? So they're getting mad at me. Hurry up, go find my son, you know. So anyway, the next credit card I get is Quebec. So it stays there for 3 days, Quebec. So I take a plane. It's really like $300 to take the plane, but if you go today, it costs me $1,300. So the money they gave me is almost like $1,300 for that plane. So I take the plane up to Quebec. I land up there. They're having a conference. There's no room. So the only place I can get is downtown Quebec in one of the big hotels. So I stay down there, and then I go to the police department. I show them the picture that I have. And everybody in Quebec speaks French. No one speaks English, neither do they want to speak English. Parlez-vous français? I say that, and then, you know, they go crazy. You know, it's you either speak French or nothing. So anyway, but everybody was helpful. So I went to the police department. They helped me out as much as they can. That was Quebec Police Department, but everybody else had police department. So I'm saying, where am I going to find this kid? So I had these places that he went to. So he went to a gas station, he went to a cyber internet place, went to a movie, and they were all like spread out, you know, within 30 miles. So I guess he didn't want to be found. No hotels or anything else. So he went to a gas station, so I figured maybe there's a hotel by the gas station. So I started going with a 10-mile radius, checking every hotel, every motel, wherever he could stay, looking for his car. I couldn't find him. So I bring it a little longer. So I started from 8 o'clock till 12 o'clock at night, every day looking for him. So the more I look for him, now it's getting to be like a week, almost past a week, and I'm still looking for him. I have no clue where to find this kid. And the more I look for him now, I'm getting a little annoyed. If I even found him, this kid, I don't know what I would do to him. But so I'm looking all over, and I can't find him, and I don't even know where to look anymore. So I'm saying, I go to this diner where he went. So I go into this diner, I sit in the diner, I talk to the waiters, did you ever see him? He was here last week. No, they don't know who he is. So I'm sitting in the diner, it's about 8:30 at night. I don't know where I am in Quebec, outside someplace, and I have all these places that he went to. So I'm saying, where am I gonna find this kid? So I call up the mother, and I'm saying, listen, I don't know if I can stay that long. She didn't even let me finish. She said, don't you dare leave. Don't you dare leave. And really, when she was saying that, it wasn't like yelling at me. I heard it in her voice. It was like, don't you know who you are? You're no longer a private investigator. You are my lifeline. You are my lifeline to find my son. This is who you are. So I'm saying, holy cow, man, what kind of pressure is this? So I'm going, now I'm getting annoyed. I say, what the heck is this? Thank God this is a religious school. So I wouldn't tell this to many people. So I said, listen, God, you got to help me out here. What the heck is this? You're putting all the pressure on me here. Help me out. So I have all these things here, all my, where he went. So I go like this. And I say, okay, I'll go here. It's 8:30 at night, so I go like this. And it was a future store, like a Best Buy. So I talked to the owner of the restaurant. He says, they got a lot of them, but one's like 15 miles out from here. That's the closest one. So I said, all right, what the heck? Where am I going to go anyway? After I said that, for some reason, I had a feeling, overwhelming feeling that I was going to find this kid. I don't know what happened. So if I felt really good about it. Where, I don't know. So I drive to this place here, which was Best Buy. It's a huge shopping center, upscale shopping center. So the only place that was open was Best Buy. So it was like drizzling out, and I'm there, and I got there like 10 to 9. I'm in the parking lot. There's like 3 cars in there. I go in the store, look around. He's not in there. So I go back in the car to rent a car. So I'm sitting in my car. I call the mother up again. Don't you dare. And I got to tell her, I have to go home at some, but I couldn't even get that out. Don't you dare. You know I told you, so tell me about him again. I told you 1,000 times, what's he like to do and all that. I told you what his car, what's his car? He's got a black car with a big spoiler in the back. You can't miss it, Pennsylvania plates. I didn't tell you he had these big yellow windshield wipers that he loves for some reason. Ever since he was a kid, he loved these big. So I'm sitting there, this overwhelming feeling that I had to find him. I didn't get that anymore. I'm looking and saying, holy cow, I'm at dead end here. Where am I going to find him? God, you got to help me out here. What the heck is going on? So as I'm sitting there, it's drizzling out. The car's off. I'm looking at my stuff. I'm saying, where am I going to go after this? And what am I going to do? I'm kind of really stuck here. And I'm sitting in there, and it's a huge parking lot. I see 2 lights coming out. This is like 10 to 9 now, 5 minutes to 9. There's 2 headlights coming towards me in the parking lot. So the car parks in front of me, and the closer he gets, and I don't have my windshield on because it's still rain. It's not like a mist, and it's like a fog. So I see this black car, and I see these big yellow windshield wipers going back and forth. So I'm going, no way is this possible. So he parks right in front of me. He didn't know I was in the car. He parks in front of me. He gets out of the car. He had a hat on. He's like 6'3". I got a picture like he's in 8th grade, like 5'2". Don't even look like him. So he gets out of the car, he goes into the store. So I get out of the car, once he's in the store, I get out of the car, go back, and I see he's got Pennsylvania plates in the car. So I'm going, man, I don't know about this one, but. So I go in the store, and he's the only one in there, and he's playing like video games. It's like 2 minutes to 9 before they close. Playing video games. So I go up to him, and I say, parlez-vous français? He said, no, I speak English. Oh, you speak English? Oh, where you from? He said, I'm from Pennsylvania. Oh, man, that's kind of cool. I'll tell you what. You can take me as a good guy, or you can take me as a bad guy. So he's playing his games like, get the freak away from me, man. This guy is sick. I said, you can take me as a good guy, or you can take me as a bad guy. So he says, put his hat down there. I said, listen, here's the deal. I'm going to walk out of this store. I want you to follow me. Now, who's going to do that in there? Any of you guys do that? You know anybody who would follow me? So he actually follows me outside the store, and it's raining outside. So I tell him, listen, you're the only, I do missing person, you're the only one that's alive. You're the only one that's alive. I was in the New York City Police Department, and I go through all the great stuff I did. great down, all these arrests and all that. I could find anybody, I could do anything, I'm the greatest. Nothing clicked with this guy because he didn't even look at me and he didn't care. He's trying to walk away. I'm trying to block him and all that. Nothing. He wasn't even listening to me. So I said, listen, your mother and father paid me a lot of money to come find you. When I said that, he kind of picked up his head, he stared at me, looked me in the eye, and I says, yeah, your mother and father paid me a lot of money to come look for you. So we both stood, like the sidewalk was right here, we both stood in the rain, and we're kind of looking out, and it's like still dusk and raining, and you can see a little dust, and we're kind of looking out, and he says, how did you find me here? I didn't even know I was coming here. He says, you talking to me? NYPD guy? I'm talking to Concordia? All of us could find you in there, so stop talking like that. He says, no, seriously, how did you find me here? So I said, all right, tell me the story. So he tells me about mother and father don't love him. He was going to Penn State. He is going to Penn State. He's taking microbiology, but because he was doing not a C in this class, he couldn't get into it. So he was all distraught and he took off on everybody. You know what I mean? So I told him, listen, your mother and father love you. So let's start from there, and I'm living proof. So I don't think this kid ever talked to anybody. So he sat there, we're in the rain, he's talking to me. Now, he's talking to me because his adrenaline is going that he could talk to somebody and bring back to life. I'm getting all wet and everything listening to him. Hurry up, tell me the story, all right? So tells me everything about his family and everything else. And my attitude now starts to change. And I'm looking at his skinny butt, now I'm getting pissed that, I looked for him for all this time. So I tell him, listen, here's the deal. You took off on your family, you took off on your girlfriend, your mother and father, they all think you're dead. They all think you're dead. What do you want me to do? You want me to talk to them? You want to tell them? He says, no, I don't want you to tell them that. Okay, since I met you. So I go back in the store while they close it, one of the girls there, I knock on the door, I told her to take a picture of us. She takes a picture of it to show the parents that he's okay. Okay, and he's alive and he's okay. So I talked to him, I said, listen, I'm staying now downtown Quebec. I don't know where the heck you're staying. You could take off again, I don't even care. I'm gonna tell your parents you're fine. I'm staying down there. Let's see how much responsibility you have from this day on. You go now look for me. And I left. So the next morning, 10:30, I get a call, Mr. Alba downstairs, I'm waiting for you. So I go down, have breakfast with him, talk again. Geez, I didn't have the whole life story in 2 seconds, just, relax, we'll get everything out. So he trusted me, became really good friends, told me everything, so thank God that he took off rather than he do something to himself. Those people in the water that went in the water that I told you that were found in the water did it to themselves. So there's a difference. They weren't killed, they weren't murdered, they walked in there and did it to themselves. Like the old guy that did it, he did it to himself. Okay? When you're in the water and you found and you drowned from the lungs, you did it to yourself. So anyway, he found me, I take him, let's go call your parents. He says, no. So I called the parents, and I said, listen, he's sitting right in front of me, but he doesn't want to talk to you yet. She said, oh, can you cuff him and bring him back home? I said, no, I can't do that. That's kidnapping. But I'm going back. So I tell him, listen, every 2 days you're here, I want you to call me up. Give me a ride to the airport. He gives me a ride to the airport, takes my card, turns everything in. Call me every 2 days. So I go home, and he calls me the first day, a second time, but he doesn't call me anymore for a week or so. So now I'm getting nervous, saying, man, I hope nothing happens to this kid. I hope he doesn't do anything to himself or nothing happens to him, So he doesn't call me. So I'm home, and his parents call me. Hey, listen, we don't hear from him. Can you go back up there again? If I go back up there, I'm going to kick his butt, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to go back up there again. So a couple days later, I'm sitting at home. I have my whole family there, 15 people in the dining room. The sun's coming in, beautiful Sunday. And I'm having dinner with everybody, happy to be home, but still thinking about hopefully nothing happens to this kid and he's fine. I get a call, my wife tells me, listen, they're on the phone. So I get the call, and both parents are crying. So I'm sitting at the table, and they're crying away, and I just happen to glance up and see my son there, smiling to other people and talking, and the thought of that happening to him, I couldn't even conceive something like that. So as they're crying away and talking to me, and my whole body language is down, and they said, you know what today is? Today is Father's Day. So I'm going, oh my God, here comes another. Please God, don't let anything happen to him. And he says, they kept crying for a while. It says, today's Father's Day. So again, I'm not. And today, our son came home today. And I want to thank you. Oh, I said, hallelujah, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for doing that. So anyway, he came home, he's safe. The family has changed tremendously for the best. Everything they changed. They asked me to go to his graduation. I went to his graduation. He always has a certain, fondness for talking to me and everything. It was easy for him to talk to me. The only thing is with the family, of course, the mother's mother was sick, and she's asking me to pray for the mother, meaning like, she thinks I'm from a higher power. So when I see her, I get a puddle of water, I show her, listen, I can't walk across the Hudson River, you know what I mean? I'll drown. So, she thinks that I'm the greatest. So what happened when, I was saying, what happened when his kid showed up? Now, if I tell non-believers, I like telling them because they said, you know why? Because you're a great detective. I said, all right, I'll keep talking to you guys then. That's kind of cool. But how did I find his kid? I don't know. Do I believe that happened? Yeah, I believe it, but I don't care if you believe it or not. But I do. But anyway, if I do, I'm not asking him to help me out. I'm happy, asking other people. But anyway, if I do have that power, this room, when you guys walk out of here, if you guys have any problems, any big, major, something that you can't figure out, can you help them out? And I'm going to leave it at that. So thank you for coming. Good luck with all you guys. And I cannot walk on water.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Alba while he's here?
Well, the cases that you had with him was most likely suspected foul play. How do people get rid of bodies? How come, okay, in the water, but in the water it goes up. How do you think people really so effectively get rid of bodies that there's no trace of it?
Because they plan this ahead of time, especially a relationship. If it's random, let's say you have a college kid, she's walking around drunk or something, and they get grabbed, they're going to grab her, and they'll probably dump her someplace off the road someplace, College students, that's one thing. What's going to happen to you? You get drunk, you leave your friends. That's the bad part, okay? And it's not easy when somebody's drunk and they don't even want you around and they want to do their own thing. It's hard to talk to them, but that's when things are going to happen. So you read about these college kids now, who's there, the girls or anything else, it's because they were drunk and they leave and they walk away, and that's what happens. And we're all creatures of habit, even the bad guys. So when they take somebody, they're going to go someplace where they feel comfortable, and they're going to put the body there. If you know somebody, they're going to either bury it, burn it, throw it in the water someplace where you can't find it. So, there's a method to all this stuff. So I kind of, know each case. When you tell me a case right away, I know what happened right away. And like I said, I know this so well, people think I'm a psychic, Although psychics do call me. Psychics do call me. So if I want to go up to Nova Scotia in a red barn in the middle of the ocean, that's where I would be looking for some of those bodies. That's what psychics, that's where they lead you, like someplace, But they all psychics, for some reason, they want to help. And they're sincere about it. So I listened to them for a little while, but I know the cases so well that I know it's not, it's not true. But anyway, thanks a lot, you guys.
The apprehension rate with the new cameras that are out there, apparently it's helping find people. How important is that new technology?
Cameras are big now, all over the place. You can walk like 2 blocks and you can find out where they went and who went there and all that. So that's big on catching, all that stuff. So that's a huge deal now. All this new technology is a big deal. DNA and all that is getting, really, all this stuff is really helpful. I'm telling you about missing persons case, but I do everything. I do all, from financials to, corporate, But for some reason, as a private investigator, everybody thinks, I'm talking about corporate, like not Donald Trump, but people like that, they would call you, and I'm just a private investigator, they own the world, and they expect me to walk on water. Listen, can you find out what this guy's doing? It's like an impossible task, Oh, I always say yes anyway. Yeah, don't worry about it, I can find it. But anybody else, everybody's cool?
Yeah, there's also the silver alert that's in New York State now, which you do know about. And there's no crime. If you decide to disappear, there's no crime against that. How many people do just decide to disappear, either walk off into the river or walk into a new world, leave their family, have troubles, and they just want to go on their way? Want to elaborate on that a little bit?
No, there is, there is, but that's a whole different section, you know, what you look for, who's gonna look for them, how do you make a complaint to the police. What's frustrating with these cases is that the families talk to the police, but the police go on vacation, do their jobs, have tickets, do patrol, so they're not, the families want like helicopters, submarines, and everything else. They expect unrealistic expectations, which we would all do. But when they don't do that, they get extremely frustrated with the police. So that's why the police relationship with this is kind of tough. Sandy Hook, where they killed those kids, what the police had nothing to do with it. The families are angry with the police. How come they didn't do this or that? So that they go through all these families go through all these emotions, you know, from anger, hate, guilt, not saying goodbye, love. So you have to know, I kind of know all these families and how to get along with them. I can't work with all families. If a family calls me up and says, listen, how much you charge and what can you do? I'm not for them. Family calls me up and says, can you help me? Yes, I'll help you. How much you charge and what can you do for me? That means they expect you. If you can't do it, then it's your fault. So that's why I don't help other families. But I do everything from Major League Baseball, checking background checks for NBA, you know, all kinds of stuff. All good, fun stuff. That's what Concordia got me there. All fun stuff now. I don't have to take that other stuff. Big CEOs call me. Listen, I ain't ready for that. Now you call somebody else, you know, and hang up. So this is where I am at this point. So it's a pleasure. But good luck to you, Concordia students. Who's ever graduating? Who's graduating soon? Anybody here? Yikes! What's going to happen in life? Oh my God! Huh? You guys aren't even ready for that. I can tell you by your faces. Oh, jeez. The end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Seriously, it's not the end. You think it is. You need help. You got to talk to people, and you'll see it's not the end of the world. Good luck to everybody. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure talking to you.